Street Fighter 6 is good.
Hmm.
That's the takeaway from the weekend.
I mean, thank God.
Is that Street is yeah. Uh, so I look back at Street Fighter Five when we messed around with the beta on that, and we made the what felt like the right decision at the time to be like, who cares about all that extra stuff? Just get the game out into people's hands. I want it now.
Hmm.
That might be long term the stupidest take you and I have ever had together. That was like so fucking dead wrong that
Well,
I scarcely believe it now.
well, it turns out it's not that it turns out. I mean, it's been this way for a while, but like the changing of the attention and like the amount of people basically from 2009 forward, it's unpredictable how many people are going to show up for when a new fighting game drops. You never quite knew
Right.
what that was going to be, and your hopes was that it would just be bigger than the last time. And how many of
Hmm.
those people that do show up, how many of them are looking to just like get some sets and grind, and how many people are looking to kind of have a full immersive story and experience with it. And obviously that second category is going to grow over time. Um, and I don't think we ever wanted a bare bones Street Fighter to drop. Certainly
No, but
not.
it was like you can add all that extra shit later. You just get it out as soon as possible, so people can
People can
play it
play it.
and everybody have fun and play it.
Hmm. Hmm. No, all the extra stuff will be a very, very welcome distraction to just running around and doing whatever it can to like get you in that world, play dress up, and it'll be a big old like immersive metaverse thing that I don't know how much it'll take for you to complete finding everything in it to 100% it,
Hmm.
but there's enough enjoyment coming around from people making their horrible monsters and
It
crawling around the lobby.
crawl is the right word. I was so we obviously played the beta, the closed beta over the weekend, and it is. I feel like the beta is an incredibly representative um, showcase of expectation. So the Street Fighter Five closed beta, or that beta period was a play match button essentially,
Hmm.
right? It was, do you want to do the fighting game? And then the first time, the answer it gave back to you was no, you're not allowed. So already hugely better than that Street Fighter Five beta, that first one where it just literally didn't do a goddamn thing. The second of which is that not only was there, hey, do you want to play the video game? There was, do you want to make your character with a wildly over complex character creator?
As
Like
somebody who
way,
judges character creators constantly and tells you about like like the joke of like how black people friendly it is, it's like
yeah.
we're entering a realm of character creators like this which are on the tier of Black Desert, where it's like,
Mhm.
no, not only can you make any human being,
You can
um
make non-humans.
yes, you can make weird fucking what's his name, the fly,
Fucking Goldblums.
not Goldblum, but
You
the
Cronenbergs.
Cronenbergs. You can make disgusting Cronenbergs and just have them slurking and slouching about the lobby, and you're just looking around for your fucking Dead Space weapons to cut them up because, dear God, what is that?
Right? So we you roll in with that, and then I get into a match, and the first match I had, I think, was against somebody with a custom, like here comes a new challenger, like custom art
Yes,
for the
customized
character that they had
challenges.
unlocked. Ability to dress up your freak in any which way you want. I saw people run around with TV heads. I saw one guy that had like knockoff Beats headphones
Hmm.
that had been enlarged to
Hmm.
larger than his character.
I saw that guy, and I saw somebody
Um,
who had the cat paws on, but they were just floating next to them like Ramlethal's knives. So this is the ability to do all the wild, stupid things from the create a character in Soul Calibur, but also with just again no limitations on what you can do to the human form. It's kind of
So
gross and horrible.
so this is already at a high level, and then I want to run around, and I get to one of their working arcade games. I forget what it was called. I want to say it's like Hyper Beast or something. It was a piece of shit,
Magic sword,
but
probably.
yeah, Magic Sword. Yeah. Okay, it's working. It's
Hmm.
doing well.
Hmm.
I walk up to a cabinet. The lobby system is like really interesting of this giant cabinet, and it really does feel like it emulates what Guilty Gear was trying to do,
Right, right.
which was
People
walking around an arcade.
we walk. Yes, yes. Which ArcSys has been pretty good at the walking around an arcade thing before Strive, mind you.
Hmm.
In previous games, they had you with a cabinet, but here they wanted to get a little creative with the sword thing and just lost it. But in six, you're actually standing around an arcade and lining up to it. I excuse me.
Bless you.
I just want to put out there that if this is what we're seeing of the early weird proportioned humans, I,
Oh,
I
I can't wait.
I suspect that what we're going to get come launch time with a full raw access to the accessories, we're going to get people shaped like real SpongeBob and real Stimpy, you
I
know,
want.
like flesh bags that'll actually look like a car made up of meat flesh.
Yeah, no. For me, the it's like,
Mater.
can your character creator create a dodecahedron? And if so, incredible, kudos. So you do all that, and then I walked into training mode and noticed the training mode has um 10 pages of options. Just
So
you, I know you spent more time in training mode than I did. Tell me about this, because I'm going through like toggles that I don't understand.
So
There's so many.
as I explained it to Reggie, it's the single best training mode that's ever been in a fighting game, and this is unqualified, bar none. The introduction of a number of features just brings it to another level. It has every features that should be there, right? So all the things you would expect of, you know, setting the dummy to do what you want, setting your bars to do what they want, and then the other
Hmm.
things that the quality of life additions that Street Fighter V got over time to their training mode included reversal training. So practicing when somebody does like a wake up Shoryuken, or against your own version of that, or against
Hmm.
after a block and things like that. You can make a series of actions happen. So that's all really nice. But then they have a simple training page, which is the first thing you get brought to. And there's a message that says, whoa, there's way too many options in this for a beginner to understand. And we get that. So before looking at any of that, why not take a look at the simple training page? And these are a collection of scenarios that have been preset for you, and they will allow you to practice a specific thing to help you get better. And it's like about 8 or so different listed categories, and the first one is combo training. And then the moment you click combo training, it resets all the configurations, the buttons and the loadout and the training buttons things to just be you are standing there, try to do a combo, and if you're successful, it'll show you the move being successfully done in the bottom. If you drop it, the character will start blocking, and as soon as you drop it, all your Mars refill and the situation resets. So done. This is what you want. Okay, now let's say you want to work on anti-air. You select anti-air training, and then it brings up a little thing that says, okay, here, Ryu will now be in the game, and he'll jump every once in a while, and occasionally he'll jump forward towards you and attack. Try to hit him out of the air, right? And this is what you can use for that. And then it'll be like, if you want, you can then go into the replay tab and turn on more actions so that he gets a little bit harder to predict. And it just sets it up for you. And each of those individual pages will let you just get a configuration of training for a specific thing you want to practice that day. Um, and that was incredible. I've never seen that done in a training mode before. And then finally, the ultimate thing is the ability to save the state that the training mode is in to one of three
This I saw.
slots. And then you can go back to that slot and load it back, and it'll load that state. Now, it won't load the character or the stage, but positioning and all other options are retained. So 3 save states for your training mode as well, just for
So
making your life easier.
the save state thing, so I did not realize that was there until it was over, until the beta had ended. I was looking at videos this morning, and I saw people messing around with Jamie and Chun-Li. And the thing with Jamie and Chun-Li is they both have relatively extensive follow-ups off of their supers because they can do the, I don't know what the drive dash or the
Drive
it's like an
rush.
FADC drive rush. They can do drive rushes out of their own supers. And I saw a guy go into training mode, do Jamie's level 3 super, and then right before he does the double kick to knock the guy out of the air,
Mm-hmm.
he hit pause,
Mm-hmm.
saved the state,
Mm-hmm.
and then started labbing 1 second after the hit to try every conceivable follow-up. And like, I was doing that for a half an hour earlier in the day,
Mm-hmm.
the hard way, and
Mm-hmm.
it was infuriating. It took forever. His super's really long,
So
and
yeah,
I gave up after a couple of minutes because it was like,
the end of Street Fighter Five had stuff, those types of things added as well. Yeah. So thankfully, what we saw over the course of that game's quality of life improvements directly came here, and then they added some save states and training mode. Fucking brilliant idea, and made easier when your game is fully rollback supported as well, because the ability to when your game is now running on rollback, it gives you access to like fucking with the timeline of a game, jumping in, jumping out, speeding up, and possibly even in the future, hopefully, the thing where you can watch a replay, pause it, and then take control. You know, that'd be really cool as well. But anyway,
so
the best training mode.
yeah, you go in, there's the character creator, there's the custom shit, there's the items, there's the arcade games that are just whatever, there's the cool layout, there's sitting down at the desk into this incredible training mode. And then I played a couple hundred matches and I had 2 bad ones. The rest were excellent. The only matches I had that I would clarify as average but still good were against a guy from New Zealand.
Okay. I had a couple of bad matches. Not a
Mm-hmm.
crazy amount, but I had at least 10 like ones where it was like, shit, you know? Now here's the thing. New feature has been added to the game.
Well,
No
Wooly, what happens if you
contests.
have a really bad connection and you're like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to do this.
They've figured out something that I don't know why it's taken this long to implement, but if you
It's
hold
such a good
start
idea.
when you're playing a match, I guess if it doesn't always appear, so it might only be during a spotty connection. A prompt will say hold start to ask for no contest, and what that means is you say, hey, I don't want to rage quit, but I want to drop out of this match because I don't think we're going to enjoy it, and they
Yeah.
can then reply and press start on their side, and then both of you can drop out of the match willingly,
No penalty.
no
Yeah.
penalty. Now, if they're a dick and they're like, fuck you, no, man, this is how I play all my games, then you're not going to get a better situation out of it. But providing that the person does acknowledge the problem, you can get away. So this is going to help some of those situations where the person you're fighting is not a horrible monster.
I also did some digging and found some people talking about the way ranked play works in the beta,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably very similar. So, what might be the most fascinating thing I've ever seen is that they just ask you, "Hey, dude, what tier do you want to do your placement matches in?"
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
go, "Are you a baby? Are you an expert? Are you kind of a bigger baby? Or are you kind of a shitty expert?" And just allow you to choose where your placement matches go.
So that's quality of life rolling down from DNF Duel, where you would choose which one of the 3 starting points you wanted, and then you would find out very quickly whether or not you placed yourself accurately.
Yeah.
Something interesting too, of course, is that each rule, as broken down in the rookie bronze, silver, gold, diamond, and then master classes, each
Hmm.
league has its own set of rules that change drastically. So as you start out as a rookie, you go from a place where you don't get down demoted. You
Hmm.
only get up promoted, and then when you enter into the upper classes of the irons, you end up getting it's some interesting stuff described. Like for example, you do get class demotions, but you have one protection against a demotion. So if you get down demoted
That's cute.
once, it'll give you a one protection against it. So like little things like that where it's like okay, like we're doing a ranked system, but we're putting a little bit of a stank on it, a little bit of fun on it, and then all of it basically is conceding the idea that once you get good enough and you get to master, it's just unfettered ranked play. But
Yeah.
before you get to master, just have fun with it. So put
Hmm.
these little extra things in there for people to like enjoy the ride.
I was playing. I'm West Coast now, so I'm playing mostly North America, and I was getting matches that ranged from 120 to 200 on average in terms of ping. Which, first of all, man, got the ping right up there at the top of the fucking screen.
Mm-hmm.
Got the rollback frames right up there at the top. I hope they keep that. That's
you
great.
you can turn it on or off because
Oh,
when you go to
oh,
the
seriously?
display settings are through the roof, accessibility through the roof. When you go check out what's going on in those extra options, you can turn off not just life bars and supers, but like online ranked information. Or if you just specifically want to turn off your ranking so that you're not stressed out by that, or any other
Mm-hmm.
little piece of data on the screen that you don't want to be there, you can custom trim it to be like, yeah, get rid of that. Um, Show
Character
what you want,
specific
hide it.
rankings are back.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the worst things about SF5 is that I would go on like I'm not playing Geef and I'm not playing Abigail today. I would like to play Ryu. Well, I'm not playing fucking Ryu in ranked today because I am getting smoked by people who have now been tuned to my
Geef,
Abigail or my
yeah,
Geef.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
there's no way.
in unique profile for each character as well, including control set. So if you wanted to do someone in modern style, you could. That's quite interesting. I'm
That was
curious.
fascinating to me that you could do that by character.
So the first day, people were trying to figure out how to switch their modern controls off because it was on by default. And I did go in and try it for a second, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. This is absolutely going to make a lot of people happy."
Yeah.
But then there's another post I saw where it's like, "Yo, people are getting upset about the modern control scheme, and they're not even ready for the third control
Hidden
scheme
control scheme.
that's coming in the final launch version of the game." And
The one that has auto combo in it.
exactly. There's a third one coming that's called Dynamic, and that one is your buttons will change according to the situation you're in. You know, it is a full on like, yo, we're gonna kind of fight for you. You don't get a ton of control here, scream. You know, so they're really trying to just give it to whoever wants to have it. I
Hmm.
didn't fight anybody in the ranked matches when I was on Classic that was not on Classic. So I also wonder if they're pairing people up on control schemes with each
It
other.
might be.
That could be a thing.
Um, yeah, the net code was excellent. Like probably, let me think. It was probably the best experience I've had with netcode of any game to date. In that the quality of the matches is about as good as Strive, which is excellent, like A or A minus.
This
Um,
the design philosophy that they took into this game as well, which people have wanted for years, is one of we are wasting no time. The level threes
yeah,
might take your time, but the win quotes and the intros will be the fastest out of your hair shit ever. And rematches just get right the fuck to it. They
I
want you to
couldn't.
be able to just jump back in.
Yeah, so if Strive and this have the same level of quality net code in terms of actually playing it, I'd say they're about the same. I would have been able to play like 3 Street Fighter 6 matches in the same amount of time I could play one Strive match. Like rematch is not rematch is like within 60 frames of hitting the button. Like it's immediate. There's no intro. You're just like everyone skips it every time. You're just immediately back into round 1 start.
And even if you do watch the intro, it's 3 seconds, you know.
Yes, sitting down at the actual table is like 2 seconds, and then you just get in within 1. Because I played it on the PS5 because of the load time. Like, it's so fucking fast compared to Strive, where I'm standing there and I'm fucking throwing my golf club or whatever, and then the fucking guy comes over and golf clubs me, and then it goes. The bird flies out the fucking window before I can mash through it, and then the intros start to play before I can mash through it and decide the destiny before I can mash through it.
Yeah, they I feel like they basically had a decision to make because there was towards the end of Street Fighter 4 and 5, there was like, and a lot of other games too, there's complaints about when supers take too long when they hit you. They're too cinematic, and people who are competitive are seeing them all the time. So they're like, we should speed these up. But I kind of think they made a decision to go, let's not do that. Let's keep those cinematic because those are hype for people to watch. But absolutely everything else in the game should take place in under 2 seconds.
I think that also keeping the supers at 3 to 5 seconds is... I mean, it has an effect, and the effect is that if I'm like neutral jumping into like hard into fierce, right, into the low fierce into the combo, and I get to level 3, I now at least have like 4 or 5 seconds to fucking relax my asshole. The animation is playing. It's time for everyone to take a fucking breather.
Take a little breather. Yeah, that's true.
And just reset the situation.
It's interesting too how they wanted to keep focus attack dash cancels from Street Fighter 4, but they didn't want them to be too easy. So in Street Fighter 4, you had to do like Shoryuken and then press 2 mediums to do your focus attack, and then immediately forward to cancel and like, you know, you do all that like into your ultra, right? Here they're like, okay, take the extra buttons out of the equation. You can just tap forward after certain things, and you'll do that special dash cancel where you glow green.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't have to hit
2 mediums.
Medium and
no.
Are you fucking serious? Oh my god.
It's not. You don't have to do 2 mediums.
Oh my god, that would explain why everyone else is doing them so consistently.
But
holy shit.
Well, okay, so for starters, yeah, if you were doing that extra input, then you didn't have to.
Yeah.
However, something important to note is they've made it way stricter on how fast you have to do it in exchange.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm literally... I'm doing a whole extra fucking input.
Yeah. So that's the thing is when I went to go test it out, I was like, oh, it's like as fast as you possibly can. Anything less than the fastest possible dash will not cause it to come out.
So I was doing it with the extra input, so pardon obviously my feeling about it, but my impression was that, yeah, it had to be faster. And that the impression was that they don't want you confirming stuff into the dash. The dash has been decided.
Yes.
Whether or not you hit or not.
Yes.
And if you hit and if it gets blocked, you're now dashing into grab, block string,
100,
something.
You must commit before you see the outcome. Exactly. Now you still have to do it with the parry input from neutral.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
However, you can do it by tapping forward and then forward and parry, and then you don't lose that extra little amount of drive gauge from starting the parry out and then canceling it. It just takes 1 pip instead.
The other thing, we should explain this for people that don't have the visual in their heads. So you hold down both mediums in Street Fighter 6 to enter a parryable state. There's auto parry kind of by holding it. And
it's like Faultless Defense and Guilty Gear. It just lets you stand there and parry everything coming at you.
It's like I need to shut this defense down. I need to help. You can perfect parry it, which gives you like 5 to 10 seconds of full screen freeze,
Hmm.
which is the funniest thing in the world. It's generous even by my standards of reactable input.
But you know what's interesting
But
about that though? During
what's
that
that?
standing still, after you do the big parry, you can block.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all right.
You can't do
I don't
anything
have the
else.
confidence. I don't have the confidence to continue to do
Anything else,
the remaining parries. Okay.
but you can block.
Okay. Um so and then you have like Willie was talking, if you hit with a special cancelable normal, so like everybody's like low medium punch, for example, or almost everybody, you can dash forward, and you can also hold parry and dash forward out of it for a really fast dash forward. And it took me a while to intuit this because I barely spent any time in the lab. But what I did discover is that everything coming out of that dash is way better
Mm-hmm.
than its normal state.
Mm-hmm.
Overheads that I hit coming out of it were suddenly comboable
Mm-hmm.
into afterwards. Um, Unsafe moves were now safe
Yes.
after coming out of it.
So what is happening? What's happening on a technical level there is you're coming. You come. There's now everyone has the ability to go flying across the screen, almost like a super dash in Dragon Ball, and
Or like a
everything.
goddamn fucking run button in Mortal Kombat. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and everything you do from that green glowing dash is plus 4 frames. So
Okay,
you
that makes
get,
sense.
yeah, whatever button you press will be way safer when you do it with that dash. And that's a universal thing. This is crazy though because like this brings us as well to a part that the joke we've made for a long time has been, oh my god, frame data, like the final frontier of being impossible to
Hmm.
understand with fighting game technology, right? Numbers and math and shit. And
Right.
then this game comes along and makes it as complicated as it possibly can. Because to explain this as simply as possible, in every fighting game, generally, whatever your buttons do,
Hmm.
there's like the punch I do to you when you block it, it'll leave me this at this much advantage, or this negative, and if I hit you, then it's the opposite. It'll be a different thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. But in this game, if you throw that little dash we're talking about on it, those numbers change, right?
Yeah.
But if you're in burnout because you've used all of your drive meter
And you're gray and
and you're gray
shitty,
and
and
you're
your character
tired,
is like, don't
fatigued,
hurt me.
those numbers change again.
Oh,
So everything you do is extra slow when you're
so
burnt out.
okay, so that's what I was feeling. Okay,
So there are things where you're like, it should be my turn to punish this, but it's not because
it's
you're
not.
extra slow.
Yeah.
So
So my
so one normal
uh,
exchange, right, can become
mhm.
modified by either you making it faster or them being more fucked up for it to become slower. And on top of that, there's the new punish counter system, which is when you're left wide open after a big special attack and you hit someone right there.
Yeah.
It adds a whole other extra amount of frame advantage as well. And what this means is everything. There's 9 different sets of frames data that you can
Yeah.
learn about.
However, that's a lot of raw data. However, as somebody who doesn't generally dive into frame data ever, it is intuitive. You can feel it. When I was playing Jamie or Guile, and I would do the drive rush into the overhead, and the overhead would be blocked, I noticed, yeah, no one can touch me. It's been made so much safer by the drive rush
Mm-hmm.
that nothing is going to be able to come out fast enough to hit me.
Whereas usually
And
you would be vulnerable. Yeah.
absolutely. The other way around is I would do stuff that I'm in burnout, in which like this is safe, and now it's not
Yes. Yes.
anymore. So even
You,
even at like the babyest, most beginner level, you can mentally intuit it as more or less safe on
mm-hmm.
everything based
Yeah.
on, is it flashing green or are you gray?
If I'm using the rush, then it's faster, and if I'm grayed out, then it's slower.
Yeah.
And this kind of leads to the final lesson in that simple training menu. So, of all the little simple training options, the bottom one is literally called the frame meter and you. And you click it, and it's like, the game is like, okay, guys, let's talk about it. Frame data. It's complicated. It's really intimidating because it's numbers and what is happening, but we
Hmm.
can learn it, and we're going to put something in this game to help you learn it. And it shows you what it is, and it shows you the bar, and it shows you that every attack in the game will have like some information about how fast it started, how active it stayed, like it could hit you, and then how slow it is on its recovery. And then like
Hmm.
it shows you the numbers of each one of those things, and then it kind of goes, you can look at this and learn a bit more and stuff. And then they explain it, step by step, so that you can step in and not be super intimidated by it. They do a great job with that. And then the last sentence, it's this paragraph, and it's so well written, and it's something that effectively says like, um, none of this is necessary for you to enjoy the game. Assuredly, learning about when it's safe to counterattack versus when you should block against certain things would make you a better player.
Yeah, so even a total beginner who is kind like barely grasping the feeling of it and is just looking like, oh, if I do a medium punch, then I have this amount of recovery because it's visual. You don't even need to read the numbers, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can just look at it visually.
Mm-hmm.
The new player can discover that sweeps aren't safe.
Yeah. That's the first thing. That's the first piece of frame data every fighting game player learns is when someone sweeps you and you block it, you get to sweep them back. That is day zero, a frame data lesson. You know.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, so this game actually takes the effort to try and introduce it to you in a manner that is like, hey, if you want to, here it is,
Hmm.
and this is so good. And now we're getting into a whole other thing. The accessibility options I mentioned before, they have a giant page dedicated towards audio cues because there are players who are hearing uh, that are
Vision impaired,
impaired. Yeah, hearing impaired and
vision impaired,
vision impaired, and
aka occasionally like fucking legitimately completely blind.
and there are players who play fighting games without looking, and they use the sound of what's happening on the screen to contextualize what to do. It's
Too
amazing.
high level for me.
It's
I
amazing.
don't fucking get it.
And what you can do is you can turn on sound effects that make it so that when you get hit with a light, medium, heavy attack, they all sound distinct and different. You can make it so that when you get hit with a cross up, there's a unique noise for that too. And as someone approaches you, you can have the footsteps sound a little different. So there are unique things to make the game give you more information, audio cue wise, about what's happening. And
There's also a button in the default control menu that I saw,
yeah,
which was mapped to the touchpad, which is play all sounds or something. I couldn't figure out what the hell it was supposed to
yeah,
do.
I tried it out and I couldn't figure it out either in game. But the options are there to turn on permanently. And it's kind of incredible because you can use that if you wanted, like if you were not, if you just wanted to turn those options on yourself for learning the game better, you could. You would, because there's a thing that happens to me a lot, which is when I don't know characters in a game and I don't know what they're using against me, I'm like, is that a medium or a heavy punch that I got hit by? I don't know because I don't know that character too well.
It's not always fully understandable from the visuals. Like Jamie has some like heavies that are like really short,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
He's got that
I
big
wouldn't,
knee.
yeah, I wouldn't think that that's a heavy necessarily just by looking at it.
Exactly. So I'm like, what was that knee, right? And it's like, so you could use the sounds to kind of do that and help you figure that out. Help and all these little things are just like really fucking amazing quality of life additions. So that was a ton of fun, man. That's good.
You know, I want one of the things. I don't know if five had it. I don't think it did, but correct me if I'm wrong, something that I saw in that controller menu, which was blasphemous to me. I could not believe it. But it's the first time in a game I've actually seen the phrase negative edge typed out in
Yes.
the game
Yes.
because you can turn it off.
Yes.
I'm I'm like
it used to just be called the release check option. And for those who don't know, what that is when you press down a button, you can have it so that the punch will come out when you press it, or you can have it so that the punch comes out when you release the button. And that'll, depending on your style, give you. Some people like that on because you can do things like, let's say you can't get a perfectly timed Shoryuken, like me, for example. You want to try doing a tap that gives you an attempt on the Shoryuken when you first touch it, and then a second attempt when you release it. And so, like, if you get, that's how you used to be back in Street Fighter 2, and so that's what it's good for, you know. Yeah, negative edge is in the game as an option you can turn on there as well.
it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, just what a incredible, like, strong foot forward as a first impression.
GG's.
hmm
And
So I think it's really so. For those of you who don't know, me and Woolie played a couple sets over the beta, which always goes the same way. Like literally every single time there's a fighting game I'm interested in, it happens. I text him and go, "Fight me, bitch! You have no balls." And he says something to the equivalent of, "The only time you want to do these sets is like day 0 or less." And I go, "Yeah, no balls." And then we play, and then I win those sets, and then we never ever fight again. And then I just retire as the ultimate victor. I was looking up at a great Core 8 gaming video right before this because I wanted to refamiliarize myself with Laugh's theory of the 3 types of players. In that there is the mind player, the heart player, and the body player. The mind player is the lab monster who wants to find out the solution to every interaction. The body player is the execution freak who wants to get every possible like advantage they have and push it to the maximum. And then there's the heart player who is just running their opponent or the feel or vibes. And as a result of you being a long-term, decades dedicated mind player who spent a ton of that stream in the lab, and me not even bothering to figure out how to dash out of one of the game's primary mechanics, but I've been playing fighting games against you for 20 years. Yeah, no shit, I took those early sets. Especially when I was playing, like, the Jamie sets were pretty close. Those could have gone either way. But the Guile sets, dude, Guile's Guile. Guile is Guile is Guile, and has been Guile since 93 or 94.
You know who else has been themselves since 94?
Ryu?
Woolie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that is an interesting thing with the different types of players because what made me become that kind of player, because I used to just be all heart and just roll with it, and I that's how I came to love fighting games. I mean, it was just
back
feeling.
In the day, who's gonna throw 2 raw supers in a row? Who would ever throw 2 corkscrew blows in a row?
Yeah, or Argato versus Dong Juan matches in
there was the
Mark
same
of the
fucking
Wolves.
match every single
Where it's
goddamn
just
time.
like, okay, can we do this in our heads at this point? Yes, we can.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you won this one. You won.
But the what I learned though was like when I started like going to tournaments and shit like that, my heart hit a wall that I couldn't overcome because the people that I was fighting, they were figuring out my heart too quickly, too instantly. They're just like, yes, blank a ball. Yes, up ball. Yes, electricity. What the fuck else you got? And I went, oh no. Right? And then the only thing that got me out of that slump was to literally go into the training mode and go, damn it, okay, hold on. Every time he does this, I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
What should I be doing? And then when I did that, it made me start winning again. So now I became a mind player because that got me out of my heart ditch that I got stuck in, you know?
So I think the best version of this is that like I also hit that wall playing online, like Third
Hmm.
Strike Online
Yeah,
and
that happens
whatnot.
often.
And for me, it was I need to go in to the body, not the mind. I need to go into the body,
Hmm.
and I need to turn the opportunities that I'm opening up because I feel very confident with my head and
Hmm.
getting in there. I need to turn those opportunities into bigger opportunities.
Hmm.
I was playing Jamie Mirrors after on Saturday, the day that I didn't stream Street Fighter 6, and I was playing Jamie Mirrors against guys that like I'm hitting them with just as many throws. I'm opening them up with normals or overheads the same amount that they are,
Hmm.
but they're hitting the follow up on the level 3.
Hmm.
And the follow up on the level 3 might only be 10% damage, but that's plenty when it's your last 10% of life.
What I
I
discovered by labbing is that you can make it an extra 20%.
Yeah.
So, um, with full conditions, I was able to get Jamie's level 3 combo up to 55% damage.
So what is it? It's the super, like whatever you do into the super, and then the super is the dash out, and then the moon kick to knock them back up,
So
right?
not even. I was
Not
doing
even.
so I tried those versions out, and those versions are pretty nice, although they're really finicky, where it's like, yeah, you do the launcher kick and then you do the double roundhouse land and do the DP.
It's tough.
It's really tough, right? And I was just explaining literally the night before about how in fighting games, I will go find the optimal combo, try to do it for a while, and after I get it on my 30th try, I'll just be like, cool, let's find the version I can actually do on the regular and
I
just dumb it
Wooly,
down.
I mean, I'm exactly the same way. It's like, are you missing out on 6% damage? Yes, but I'm not because I'm never going to hit that one
Hmm.
consistently. That one, by trying to do that, I would
Hmm.
miss out on 10% or 15%.
So then here's what I found out when I went to that lab, right? Immediately. So when I streamed back up yesterday night, and I wanted to get more lab time in, I was able to discover a couple of fucking really cool things. Um, which, I saw. It's funny because some people are like, dude, stop running away to the worthless lab to learn nothing. And it's like, you don't understand, man. Here's.
So I was before we go. I was streaming, and we did the like a set, and then you'd go and lab, and people would be like, he ran away to the lab, and I'm like, no, 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 he's gonna come back, and we played like two sets, and then like one final match, and like he's gonna come back, and he's gonna be better than he was like right now. Like he'll be back in an hour, and it will be a much harder fight, and it was. And then you left, and I'm like, no, 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 he's gonna be come back. He's gonna be significantly better again, and it was. And if we played today, you would probably start beating my ass.
If we
And if we played tomorrow, because now I need to get into the lab.
Well, if we played today, I might just pick Luke because I kind of decided to turn my brain off.
Okay, dude, I saw that. Let's go back to Jamie in a second. I popped into your stream once mine was done when I rated you. And he's like, and you go, maybe I should just play Luke. Luke just seems like turn your brain off, and then you did just medium 4 times.
Yep. And it's just like, hey, does that look unsafe? Let me just mash medium to punish it. That worked. Okay. Let me throw a jab out. It's a jab. Let me throw another. Hey, it hit. Okay, jab, medium, launch, and then what? Double uppercut, and then what do you want to do? Which super do you want? They all work, And I'm just like, oh man, I'm just like, what am I fighting? Guile? Yeah, I'm gonna just stand back here and just throw fireballs at you. And it's just like, yeah, if you want to turn the brain off, man, can you do that? So, and it's the feeling of like, oh right, so this is Jamie is a Fei Long style or Yun and Yang style character.
Jamie is two characters that I love that were not as popular as the other characters in their own archetype. In that he's Yang, he's not Yun. He is definitely Yang with the Rekka, and he's Hakan.
Yes, yeah, with the loading up,
Yeah,
and I feel like there's one thing that like is pretty crucial though, because like Yang and Yun have a way to either roll under or do a elbow block through a fireball, right?
right.
And in Street Fighter 4, Yun can also just EX rush punch through a fireball, right?
Straight through. Yeah.
And so I'm like, as I was really hoping that Jamie's palm, at least on EX,
No.
would be able to check a fireball, and it doesn't. And I was like, oh no.
That's the shit. You can punish some fireballs at some ranges with it, but you can't go through.
Because I felt like the fact that would have to cost you meter to do, it would be fair for him to be able to just be like, I'm going to spend it and get through that one, you know? But no, they don't let you do that. So here's what I labbed between Saturday and Sunday. I found out, but you can break dance under a sonic boom. So when you get loaded up to level 2, you can just do raw breakdance. Now, if the range of the sonic boom is anything further than round start distance, you're not going to hit. But if you time it just right, you can get underneath it and start hitting him and then do that. So there's your way around it.
You know what I found about that?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Guile's upside down kick low crushes the shit out of Roundhouse. Even the super.
Yeah.
Even the super.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen as well Guile's flash kick range.
It's round start distance, right?
Round start distance. Ryu was throwing a Hadoken from further back than round start. Shout outs to Brutus on Twitter who just tweeted out a little clip of like Ryu getting flash kicked from further back than round start distance. It's crazy. It's crazy what they've done. Let me see if I can find the clip. But yeah, so what I found out about labbing Jamie in that particular session was sorry, here's the video I was talking about. No, there we go. Here, I'm going to share it on. I'm going to retweet it and I'm going to send it.
Do a retweet. Then I'll see it.
Further back than round start distance.
You're never
madness.
safe.
Madness.
It doesn't even touch him. That's my favorite part is the yellow effect that comes off of Taiga, off of Guile's flash kick is like a character's arm away from Ryu and it still hits.
No, they're kind of looking at like how like buttons look in some of these anime games and they're like, "No, fuck it. We want this to be a full screen thing." Right? They're just making Street Fighter go a little bit anime with these ranges. And to be fair, go back to some of the old days of Street Fighter 2 with insane footsies and stuff. But what I found out about that whole fancy follow-up post level 3 with Jamie is that the palm strikes land. So if you mash palm strike as the level 3 is happening, as long as it's the not the neck breaker one, but the launcher one, you can land palm strike, any of them.
Like the dashing palm strike?
Yes. And if you can land the palm strike, you can land the second palm strike. And if you're loaded up, you go bop bop, and that's great damage. But hold on a minute. Let me see here. If you can land the palm strike, what about the EX? You can land the EX, which leads them to a rolling crumple state, which then if they're in the corner, you launch them back up again, and you get a fucking 5.5, 55% damage combo.
What do you launch them with?
So the full combo ends up basically being jump in, like headbutt, right?
Fierce,
with the fierce button, crouching fierce.
Right, those are the two good ones, and then you do the drive cancel.
EX palm.
EX palm?
Palm follow up.
Right.
Fully loaded. Cancel the second palm into level 3.
You can do that? You can cancel the second hit of the palm into level 3?
You can cancel just about anything at some point into level 3. Level 3 cancels are pretty generous. It's the only one. EX into level 2 is a thing, but you go 1, 2. Then you do the level 3, and then as they're coming down, you do EX palm times 1. They roll to the corner, and then EX DP. And it's your full resources, and it's more than half-life. It's incredible.
So this is this relatively um, arcane description of a combo that so many people can't see in their heads does actually lead to something else that I am madly in love with about Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is already, this is going to sound insane, literally already my favorite Street Fighter because of one system change. And I assume you thought of it at one point playing against me. This is the only Street Fighter game in which I actually like to use EX moves, because EX moves have finally been pulled off of your super, where all your good super juice is, into your guard meter. And I feel way more comfortable throwing down guard meter or drive meter. And what this does is it gives you more room for player expression.
And you're never going to feel like you don't have enough super. You're always getting super meter.
Yeah. So what I saw was, let's say I'm playing Guile. I had a lot of matches as Guile in which I didn't fully, I was far away from people. I was keeping them out. And so I didn't feel the need to do the drive impact. It's called the
focus attack.
I didn't feel the need to do drive impact. I didn't feel the need to do the drive cancel or anything like that. What I wanted was EX sonic booms and EX flash kicks. That's what I fucking wanted. I wanted more keep out. I wanted to blow through Ryu's fireballs. I wanted to
amplified by the perfect timed versions as well.
Yeah, which I found out. Yeah, so but if I was playing Guile as Rushdown Guile, which I had people beating on me as Rushdown Guile, they would blow the whole bar on me in the corner. And yeah, they would almost hit burnout, but they were getting me like full to like 30% and just blow every possible resource. And there's a spot in between where it's like, I want to get a good, consistent follow-up, but I want to save something for impacts, or I want to save something for an EX reversal if I need it. And it gives this big, wide open area for player expression. Are you the guy who's using Ryu's spacing to just throw EX fireballs and EX Shoryus? Get the fucking fuck out. Are you doing what Steve did to me, where he was doing basic Ryu combos and then using the EX kick to fucking shore you me to fucking hell? Like, what do you want out of it?
And I know Reggie was able to get a couple of wall bounce into the new fireball, the short one.
Yeah,
wall bounce into Shoryu. I forgot what it's called. Oh no, like Metsuhado or whatever. But anyway, there's like a whole kind of bunch of crazy shit Ryu can do now. He can also just bully you with his standing medium kick, like ridiculously so.
It's a really good one. About perfect booms.
Yeah.
So I saw someone in the chat said that perfect booms are easy. I don't like talking about that in that way because some people have trouble doing a sonic boom. What I can tell you is, for somebody that's been throwing charge motions out for 25 fucking years, perfect booms feel easy. Like, I learned what classifies them as perfect literally just now, looking at the chat and finding out that it's forward and punch on one frame.
So if you've been doing them properly for your whole life, then they're going to be perfect.
Or Rog or Urian. So like they're bordering on automatic.
So what's interesting is when you do perfect uppercuts with Luke, it's not the same thing. It's actually much harder. Perfect timing with Luke is more akin to a Devil May Cry input, where you do the charge fist, and then there's a moment where it flashes, and you have to release on the flash. and like you can't release when you see the flash. You have to release just before the flash so that you're on that moment. You know,
Yeah.
um, the flash is an indicator that you're too late, if anything. And but like
Mhm.
that's the way to like get his like perfect kind of sequence going for the maximum damage stuff. But admittedly, you definitely don't have to go that hard with it. You know.
Reliable is better than fancy.
Mm-hmm.
If your fancy is reliable,
Mm-hmm.
then go by all means.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, the other thing I want to talk about is drive impact itself,
Yes,
which I would,
that's a big topic
yeah,
here.
go
So
for it.
it's I don't know if you've seen the feedback on it, but it's getting maligned quite a bit online.
Really, I love it.
A lot of people are not enjoying drive impact because it is like a focus attack, except it's forward moving, and it is pretty. And again, in the corner, it is an annihilator, and outside of the corner, it is safe. You know, focus attack had situations where you could make it safe, but it also had like gamble to it if you were, well, if you had doing a full charge, there were focus breakers, right? And there were also like the dash shot of it, which would then add extra recovery to you if the person just stood still and jabbed you. In this
Mhm.
case, it's more of like, no, you block it, you're getting it safe, right? So the way to actively deal with it in game is to see it and respond with your own second.
Yeah. So to be very clear, drive impacts you hit both strongs, and your character will in 26 frames, so about half a second, move about 2 feet forward and do a crumpling hit. If they hit a blocked character, the blocked character will fly back, and you absorb 2 hits during it. The third hit will break you.
Now, the reason why, of course, people are feeling this way, though, is that one, it's pretty inexpensive to use compared
Oh, it's
to,
free. It's
yeah,
super easy.
like
Yeah.
the canceling out of a button is like 3 bars. This thing is like one, right? It's like nothing.
Yeah,
Um,
it's free.
and then the second thing is the way footsies tends to be played in Street Fighter is we dance back and forth, walking into the maximum range of one of your good buttons, and I try to get you to use it, and then I hit you when you use it. And that
Yeah,
game,
absolutely.
and if we're playing that game for more than a second, someone can just go, I don't want to play this anymore, and then just do that instead. And it just
The
destroys
long
that
history
exchange, you know?
the long history of Street Fighter footsies has been rock and paper only, and now this is scissors being
Well,
added to the mix.
well, scissors was actually no, scissors was there because what scissors was walking forward,
Okay, then Molotov
you
as
know.
the fourth option.
But yes, and then re-Molotov first to break it is the thing.
So I think Drive Impact is great. I think there's a really specific range of players in which it feels insanely oppressive, and that is above novice, like not total baby,
Hmm.
but just beyond that, where it feels really oppressive.
Hmm.
I love it. It's 26 frames, which is fast, but not unreactably fast,
Hmm.
which is important because I was playing against people, and I think you did it to me once. You did it to me once. You can react to it on frame 25 of 26
Yeah,
and still beat it out.
towards the end of the second set, I tried it. I was trying to react to it more. Um,
And you did.
the thing, of course, is that you have to not already be doing something,
Yeah.
right? If
You
you,
have to be in neutral.
yeah, if you're already doing something, then too late.
Hmm. The other thing is that its effect on the dizzy system is one of my favorite things I've ever played. Dizzy in Street Fighter or in a lot of fighting games is a little opaque. Maybe there's a bar, often there isn't. And it's the kind of thing where feeling the stun meter is
Hmm.
a factor,
Hmm.
and the stun meter decays, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah. It's
it's
invisible.
opaque.
It's invisible, but it's there. Yeah.
Now dizzying is a like step one, step two, step three, they are dizzy
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is they are burnt out, they're in the corner, and they block a drive impact. So when they hit the wall, they dizzy. So
Um.
you are ready for the dizzy the instant you hit the button and you have the whole move coming out,
Mm-hmm.
then you have the bounce, which is a full second, to mentally get ready
To
for
do
I'm
what
going to
you're
do a
doing.
dizzy combo.
Yeah. The corner is the most terrifying thing in the world. It doesn't matter how much those
Oh, it's
combos
way
scale.
worse than it's ever been.
It's the
It's
scariest
way
thing.
worse than it's ever been.
Anti-strive. Anti-strive. You're not getting out.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is. So in Strive, you'll break through the wall if somebody's beating on you. In five, in six, you can be blocking and they'll bounce you off the wall to open you up, and you're fucked.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with mentally stress wise. So I tried to practice like a couple of options for getting out of the corner too, and you've got some options, but that guessing game of whether you're going to eat a drive impact is always there. Um,
I will
there's
say, by the way, Drive Impact does have one big weakness, and it is a weakness that is not fully visible because certain characters were not available in the beta, and that is you can throw people out of a Drive Impact.
providing that it's not the last couple frames of it, right?
Yeah.
If you
But if
do,
you see the Drive
mm-hmm.
Impact start to come out and you throw out a throw, they're eating it.
And like Luke's throw, for example, is like Ken in Third Strike when he does a Kara throw.
Hold on, somebody in the chat just said Drive Impact feels like getting punched in real life in
In
the
the
corner.
corner.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It does feel
No.
like that.
No, when you're cornered and like when you're up against the wall and someone hits you and you got nowhere to go, that sucks, man. Um, yeah. So Luke, I was doing some testing and I saw that Luke had a throw default range that was the range of like Ken doing a Kara grab, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So he can probably grab it early on in when you're coming at him if you're being too obvious about it. But if you do it, I did a test on like like meaty. So you do a drive impact on someone who's getting up from the corner and make it so that the impact is happening as soon as they get up, and you can't throw that.
Yeah.
So, but you can focus it though, rather parry
Yeah,
it.
and the other thing is that if they're doing it meaty, it means you're still getting up, so you're weighing your options, and if you see the Drive Impact coming out, you should probably react with your own Drive Impact. And that like the person who goes second wins it is
Mm-hmm.
funny, but
Rival
it works
schools.
really well. It works really well in a situation in which if you're just spamming it, you're gonna burn yourself out, and now you have no ability to defend yourself against the other person's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of Samurai Showdown in there's those like stare down moments, and like when you're trying to get the Isen in, and there's those moments where you're both like, we have a gun loaded, pointed at each other. Whoever
Mm-hmm.
whoever starts to aim first is like the second person is gonna win, you know.
Yeah, this game it has a really so the damage is not as high, right? You need to do more to get more damage, but at the same time, it's this weird situation where like everybody is walking around with level threes
Mm-hmm.
at like for huge proportions of the match, and they're walking around with level threes with a bunch of buttons that will just put you into a full crumple. In which case, anybody can hit a
Mm-hmm.
level three when you're in a full
Mm-hmm.
crumple. So everything is scary.
And the thing is damage is high depending on who you're using, though, right? Kimberly has to work to get damage.
But she can.
Ryu can just fucking lay it into you. It really does depend. But yeah, so no, I was gonna say, the one thing that I thought looking at it was like, I was like, oh no, I don't like the sound of burnout when I saw that as a feature, because I was like, oh, what are we gonna have, like a state where you're too tired to do a Hadoken, a state where you're too tired to do moves? Like, I don't like that in Street Fighter. And then it's like, no, 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 it's gonna be fine. You can still do all your moves. You just don't have access to any of the unique things that make Street Fighter 6 abilities available. You don't
And
have your
because of the effects on your safety,
yes.
you're gonna want to play it
So
cool.
I initially saw that, I was like, oh, okay, you can just play normally and you'll still be
Yeah,
okay. And then now I'm like, oh no, it's still it's terrifying, right? It's really really scary to not have any of those things at your disposal, because the counters to all the new systems require you also use the new system as well.
I had a couple matches in which I was playing Jamie and I was really feeling myself, and I'm like doing a combo and then I'm hitting the EX and I'm like, yeah, and I'm I'm blowing through my whole bar. And there's one where I did like a big combo and I was really thrilled with myself and I blew the entire bar like 15 seconds into the fucking match,
Mm-hmm.
which sowed the seeds of my destruction because they were
Mm-hmm.
able to push me into the corner and keep me in the whole corner the whole time because I had blown all my resources that early.
I've died countless rounds to thinking I was on drink level 2 when I was not, and trying to do a move sequence that I didn't have access to, and just like, oh
Mm-hmm.
god damn it, keeping track of what drink level I'm at and what moves are behind what, is the next level, right? So when they talk about characters that require like a little more work, part of it with is a character like this where that move list unlocks more as you get drunker, but you have to know what changes when. I got it down in my head, but like in match, there's moments of pressure where I'm like, "Fuck! I thought I had
Yeah.
my breakdance, but I didn't."
Jamie's drink level is really fun because you get to 4 and he becomes super powered. Some of his normals change. He gets new normals. He gets his like Rekka has like 12 to 15 extra hits, does way more damage. It's like a miniature super,
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 blah. But then you're like, well, yeah, but drink number 1 is actually the important part because it turns the shittiest jab in the game to
Into a
the
three,
best
yeah,
jab in the game.
into the 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yep, yep,
the
yep.
the the most brain dead confirm I've ever seen in SF,
Mm-hmm.
where it's super good.
Yes. Don't you already do that with Nago Blood? Absolutely. Me managing Nago Blood, I've played enough that I check it, but I feel it inside and I kind of know where I'm
Yeah,
at,
you
right?
yeah.
But this is a brand new character in a brand new game, and the indicator for the drink is right there up to his name. All you have to do is check it. But again, new character, new environment, you find yourself in little stressed out moments, and then you're like, oh, I have an opportunity. Let's go for it. And then you go for the thing that you're like, oh, wait, shit. And it's already too late. The moment's gone. So it's really just learning a new thing, right? Learning to ride that
Mhm.
bicycle. You're going to have moments where, like, you weren't expecting to have an opportunity because they just dropped a combo, and you have to take advantage. And then you land the counter hit, and you're like, oh, I don't have the breakdance. So
Yeah,
now,
so I had the opposite problem in which I would have enough drinks, but I wouldn't realize that I had enough to do breakdance or something
uh,
like that. So I would go for the Rekka or something like that
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because I
mm-hmm.
you always have the Rekka.
And if somebody lets you do it, I saw you were initially taking sips, 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 and I did mine where it's like, no, hold the button down. Just hold it down, and if they let you do it,
Um,
you can just get loaded all the way up.
So I fought you, and I fought another guy playing in Jamie Mirrors, in which the start of the match is both characters. Go, fuck it, level 4. Let's just turn this mechanic off.
Yeah, yeah, that's fun. So anyway, I'm curious to see how it's going to shape up. I know some really good hidden tech was locked behind his standing medium punch, which was like very very plus. Um, I saw
But
like
not cancelable into anything.
uh no, but if it's plus enough, you can just link it, right? So
Oh yeah, into
yes,
like low medium
into standing jab.
standing jab. Okay, of
So
course,
then
standing jab, of course.
standing medium punch 1, 2, 3, right? But what I also saw was someone do a combo where it was like standing medium off of the and then off of the rush.
Off the drive, yeah.
So he gets a ton of extra frames, enough to do a crouching fierce. That's a lot of plus. It's so
And it's so plus that if it's block, you're cool.
yep, because check the math on it,
Okay.
right? It usually leaves you +5. You do it with the rush version, you get those extra 4. So now you're +8. And you're
And
able to
nothing is
well
gonna
9
keep plus
really,
8.
and then you're going to be able to do the move that's at 8. So the math works out. So you do a fierce, then do whatever you want. Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a hype character. He jumps in going, the top player is here. But I think you're going to see him struggle to people
Oh,
who
fireballs shut him the fuck down. It's
are,
really bad.
because fireballs are back. Fireballs are 100% back. They are not like weaker versions from the past. They're not versions that are like you have an easy answer to them. Street Fighter 4 said just focus it. Who cares? Street Fighter 5 said we're going to give you a dedicated move that'll catch it or hit underneath it or ignore a fireball entirely. You don't need to worry about fireballs. And then 6 says you can try to focus it, but it's probably going to cost you more to do that. You also
Or just
probably
jumping it.
Yeah, you also don't have the ability to react to the speed of it. Walking forward and a Guile EX boom comes out and you try to hold
Oh
down
no,
back in
no,
time, it's too fast.
no,
You
no.
know?
It's beyond. I mean, some people might be able to do it, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Almost unreactable. And then, you just go, "Oh yeah, fireballs are back. Street Fighter 2. This is what they wanted." So, anyone who doesn't have an instant clear answer to that issue will suffer on this cast. I'm telling you right now.
I have one complaint about the closed beta, and it is a complaint that is not fair. And that is that I had a ton of fun, but none of the character archetypes that I play were present,
Yeah.
and it bummed me the fuck out. There was no grappler, and there was no like boxing body projectile, fucking complete nonstop rushdown character. That's got to be, I think her name. It's the Italian lady with the red hair,
Yeah,
and Keith,
maybe.
or even Honda, right? Like, I need it.
Hopefully the new gladiator girl looks like that.
I assume
Is
she's
one of
going to
those
be
one of
new
those art
Balrog.
styles. Marissa.
Yeah,
No, I don't think she's gonna be new Balrog. I think the guy that looks like G is gonna be the new Balrog,
the old guy.
the old man,
Really?
because he looks like G and Q, and G and Q have the rush punch moveset. So
Hmm.
I feel like we're going in that direction. Um,
People are saying that Marissa is a super armor character. They were able to data mine some stuff out.
oh, like information
Uh,
about the actual stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
so if she's a super armor character, then she is absolute. Then she is fucking
Hmm.
EX Balrog.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh, it's
Because
scary. I
because because
don't.
if JP plays like G, who is like
Yeah.
a better version of Q, then you're getting some of that, like that Balrog with flair as well. Um, and we also don't know what Mimi is gonna be.
Apparently, I mean, I would be under the assumption that she's going to be cooler, able.
Not hard to do. Um,
He was just so normal. People are saying that the little girl that looks like
Lily?
T-Hawk,
Yeah,
Lily is T-Hawk.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
is just
She's
T-Hawk.
she's doing a condor dive in her art. Like the art of her in the intro of the world tour is her doing a condor dive. So for sure. Um Aki's probably gonna be Fang, and
Mhm.
then everything else, no real question marks. Rashid, Edge, DJ, etc. Yeah. So we'll see. Uh yeah, there are the choices for the characters definitely, I didn't obviously have an archetype I was looking for, so I'm down with going. I'm like, let me just jam me on a lark, but um, the I did sort of see though that like the combo display final day stuff coming out of like High Fight and a number of other
Mhm.
like lab monsters were showing you that yeah, most of the cast with full resources can drop you to 50%. Um, ideal
Means that
circ
second round halfway mark is going to be touch of death land.
Yeah. With perfect execution and perfect setup, you can do things that'll just rock the your opponents. So
I'm being told that there's no green hand, but Geef has new moves, including a dedicated anti-air grab, which
what's that coming from?
the audio files that people
Is
were able to
that
pull out the audio. Rooflemonger has a video about it. Off I go.
okay? I would assume Green Hand would be there simply because every other World Warrior has all the moves they had ever had, right? Like they gave Dalsum all of his 5 stuff and all of his 4 stuff. They gave Geef, or they gave Honda all of his 4 and 5 stuff, and
They were. Oh, that's how they were able to get voice commentary files
Ah,
of
okay.
like of the commentators
So they
talking
hear the
about
move
this.
like, oh, there's the
Oh
spinning pile
man,
driver. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
is a new way. That is a
Man.
new way to leak shit.
Because of the commentary system. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Siberian Blizzard
I
isn't gonna
can't I can't
kill.
I I can't believe Zangief was able to grab that guy out of the air from the ground.
Yeah, okay. That's funny. Interesting.
That's incredible.
Um, huh. I I feel too though that like
Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. It's
okay.
literally all the commentator tracks that currently exist for the new characters.
See, but the other thing
That's
is that
so.
in my head, Zangief and Potemkin are in an arms race. And from Street Fighter 4 over to Exerd, over to 5, over to Strive, there's been just an escalation of like how ridiculous a pure grappler can get, how many extra things we can give them while trying to maintain the purity of that grappling, you know?
So the thing that always did the difference between Potemkin and Geef is they're always designed to be the most oppressive grappler on their respective roster. And I think they're the top two in terms of like just the feeling of. But Geef's big thing is that he always has had a way to get people the fuck off him with the lariat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Potemkin fucking fucking jab it, I guess. Get off me. I don't know. Um,
And like there's but then Potemkin is like on his wake up is you're just gonna cry, you know.
I
But
just
yeah.
had my brain just go Zangief like medium like crouching medium punch into drive rush and just the emotion that will cause as the big man just goes from over here to over here.
Crouching medium punch canceled into drive rush into they're gonna jump because they think I'm SPDing and you
And then
jump
I do the
SPD them.
anti-air grab. Well, no, apparently he doesn't even need the air SPD. He has a dedicated
Ground to
anti-air
air.
grab.
Oh, like an
I'm
able.
I assume like the hand.
The able reach and grab
Yeah,
you. Get down here. Yeah, okay.
which
Okay.
is which is part of the Gi formula, which would have always felt unfair because jumping away from him is the way to leave.
Cuz then yeah, people learning how to do like 720 Siberian Blizzard one step off the ground, you know, to catch
Yeah.
you the moment you're jumping back is like that was the tech.
Audiophile has confirmed that Geef has the most grabs he has ever had. So I guess grab for wherever the opponent is.
I mean, at that state, you might as well just go Beowulf with it and have a generic grab, which you then pick the follow up. You know, just all right. He's got you. Where you want to go? You want to go up, down, left, right, whatever. Damn. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. 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 Great.
Also, so we saw Dalzim in the trailer, and Dalzim looked like mean. He's doing full screen everything.
Yep.
After playing it for a while and feeling the new systems, man, Dalsim's gonna be pissed about drive impact.
Is the
Like,
crumple going to teleport him to your face?
no,
Then,
there's no way.
then we'll
But
have to see.
like his bullshit where he's in the air and he's doing like his sniper shit. What it will do is it'll roll him up there, which will probably give you all the time in the world to get all over to him.
Oh, I mean, there's options. You know, one of the sickest combos Ryu I saw off of Ryu was one that ends with a level 2 Hashogeki from mid screen, and that leaves you rolling, and then
I just saw that.
you do a Shinku Hadoken while he's rolling at the other side of the screen, and it tags
Yeah,
him.
So Ryu's short range fireball, the super puts this like that's a new state, right? I don't remember ever seeing
Yeah,
that type of
rolling.
state in Street Fighter where he rolls and he rolls the whole length of the screen and Shinku catches him anyway.
Sliding state has been a thing in other fighters, but it's a new state for Street Fighter for sure. The fact that they can let you do that is like that leaves you tumbling and you catch a level 1 super. Like my God, they're giving you the options to just spend it all to murder.
I'm also being told that Geef has kept his suction.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the win because it's definitive to his five play. It became a big
but
deal.
like the suction, dude, that's the suction existing in a state in which it's just a move. It's not a resource
hmm
move. It's just a thing to do. That's like a fucking Tager
I could, I
with
mean,
magnetism shit.
I could see it being like Lariat, and then EX Lariat is suction. You know, I could see something like
I
that.
have I have a list of somebody who has gone through the audio files and broken down what is in there. Would you like to go over them?
I mean, I not now, but I will certainly because I have a lot of
Okay.
Blanca questions.
The Blanc is not in there.
It's just Geef.
We've got we've got Lily, Manon, JP, Marissa, and Geef. So
Okay.
a bunch of newcomers.
Okay.
I'm just gonna fly through this like as fast as I can. Lily is definitely T Hawk's daughter because she has Condor Spire, Condor Dive, Mexican Typhoon, Tomahawk Buster, and Raging Typhoon.
Okay. Is
That
this?
girl is T Hawk.
Oh, is this the Sports Kita page?
This is the Sports Kita page. Yeah,
Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah, I see it.
that's T Hawk. Manon, uh, Heart Ballet, and Heart Judo. Uh,
Man, no.
doesn't have a whole lot, but
Momentum grappler.
Momentum Grappler. Yeah.
Huh. I
Um,
mean, listen, there's one archetype missing from this list that is not gonna be missed. Laura. If there's no
yeah.
Laura, I think a lot of people are gonna be fucking happy because Laura was disgusting. So we'll see what happens if she can do anything like that.
JP is going to have a teleport, so JP will probably be our boss. Marissa is super armor. Taxer Describe sounds like an MMA fighter with knee strikes and lifts. And then Geef has Cyclone Lariat, Tundra Storm, Borscht Dynamite, Russian Slam, and Jackhammer. That's a lot of throws.
Yeah. Um probably
The
the
Borscht Pile Driver is the jumping aerial throw, and the Russian Slam sounds like an anti-air.
Cuz god, he's had over the years to pick from. He's had the ground to air grab like the double Hadoken kicks in Alpha. He's had the, Siberian Blizzard Ultra 2 air to air. He's
Yeah.
had catching you out of the air and dropping. He's had, like yeah. Okay. A super armor character. I wonder.
That sounds like EX Balrog, like SF4, like EX Balrog, or maybe Alex. Yeah, I want to play these new characters. Like Kimberly and Jamie. I didn't play much of Luke, but he does actually seem fun to play. But Kimberly and Jamie are fucking A+ newcomers.
Oh
Like
yeah.
raped.
Whole lot of fun. And I like I'm looking at this list of returning, characters as well, and I'm just like, yeah, like I hope that everybody gets like all that pizzazz. Like so far, they've been doing a pretty good job of it. The return of Rashid is probably going to be really nuts. Like Rashid is a fun character. I'm glad he's coming back, and like I can only imagine what zoning is going to look like for him now that it's again better than ever. Um, yeah, yeah, no, so far so good. Street Fighter 6, very good, very very good.
I want that Zangief trailer so bad, dude.
Um, people
And
ask
I'm
me,
gonna be playing the game on PC, and I'm gonna ask somebody who knows how to do this kind of thing. I would like you to modify the Zangief model and replace it with my dog's head for maximum freaking weirdness.
there you go. Um, people have
It's been really funny watching people on the subreddit and on my Twitter get like legitimately confused that I'm talking about Street Fighter because they can't tell the difference between the dog and the character anymore.
nice.
It's real fun.
You also use Geef as well as a shortcut to name too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be complicated. Um,
I'll just call the dog David.
someone asked me yesterday, like, what are your dream, like, what's your wish list for the game? And I was like, look, the pipe dream that'll never happen is adult Makoto. Like,
Yeah.
it would be the coolest thing in the world, but it's too cool for it to exist. So we won't be getting that, at least maybe not until like DLC season 4.
I think
Um,
I think the weirdest thing is that like the roster's good. I like the roster. It's a little strange there is not one character from 3 on the whole list. There's nobody.
no shit. Akuma's got gray beard. Akuma's got
Yeah.
gray hair. Yeah, no, not as a representative. Straight
Mhm.
up.
I think Makoto would be terrifying in this system.
Yes. I mean,
Really, really scary.
Jamie's command grab is already like a little bit of proof of that, and now think about her explosive grab dash up to you to like, before you even get a chance to drive impact, she's grabbing you out of it. Like it would be super sick. But since that's a pipe dream and whatever, monkey's paw, I'm gonna settle for a more reasonable. My realistic pipe dream is I hope that Blanca can get his dolls back. I hope that it's not 5 and they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, from what I've played, I'm thrilled with the directions. Like I'm not the biggest Ryu player in the world or Ken player in the world or Guile player definitely. These are really, really fun versions of these characters. I didn't play Ken once because I was playing controller, which I don't have my stick with me because of the move. And I'm looking at Ken, and he's got like the double kicks to do the dash and all that. So I'm like, I'm not gonna bother till I have my stick. But what I did feel is that people playing Ken were able to do a ton of super cool shit, super cool shit, and he finally, every Ken super brings you up in the sky, and he finally has another super where he brings you
spikes you
back
down to the ground. Yes, the spike.
It's been since like what, Giant Impact or some shit? Like just
and stay down. Yeah,
it's great.
How do you feel about the fact that we've gone from Capcom being like, psst, I hear you guys y'all like feet? You like feet? I got a little feet here, and now Capcom is like offering it to you. They're down there on their knees with you, going,
so
don't you want some delicious feet though?
We saw Jury's Super and we were like, ugh. But that's nothing compared to the character select. It feels like a man is exposing himself to me. That's what it feels like. It is somebody whispering in my ear going, snoof it.
For me,
snoof it.
No, it's the taunt. It's the taunt where she does the little kochi with her butt, and she uses her hands to do a come hither, or she uses her feet to do a come hither while wiggling her butt at you, and it's just like the absolute most degenerate shit. Now, I am not one to shame. I am not one to fucking embrace cowardice. I say you go all in on what you want to go all in on. but there's a level of like, again, like the official Capcom rep with the name tag and the little C and everything. Like, why, hello there, welcome to Street Fighter 6. Can I interest you in some feet? No, more for me then.
That's exactly what it feels like.
While wearing the uniform.
It's really, it's
a lot.
It's Tarantino-esque.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Man, Lily's gonna be T-Hawk. Man, I haven't seen a grappler archetype off like a little girl character in a long time. I want to see like a 5 foot nothing little girl doing a Mexican typhoon, man.
I mean, there's been versions of that with like psychic energy floating you around and shit.
Ah, Jesus. Sorry. Hey, man. Love you.
Or the splat you to the ground and then does the big sit, but it's a little sit, so it's not even going to be that impactful. That's going to keep happening, isn't it?
It sure is.
All right.
It sure is.